Howdy, Legendary Void here, and today I have a great little deck tech for you all. This is a card that I've been wanting to mess around with for a little bit. It is General Megatron, the super rare from Wave 3. I really love this card, and I've been wanting to work on it for a good while, and I finally got a hold of it. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do a deck hack over it today. Let's go ahead and get into it. He is a 13 star cost, and in bot mode he is 715-2, which are pretty good stats. And then at the start of your turn, if he has 3 or more upgrades, do 1 damage to each enemy. This is a very good skill, and we have a lot of ways to try and generate this onto him as fast as we can and get this going to deal damage across the board to your opponent all the time. So, and he also has this great skill in alt mode where he's a 515-3. He's a leader tank range, and when you flip this mode, do damage to an enemy equal to the number of weapons you have on the battlefield. That does not just apply to him; it's to everyone else on your side of the field as well. So you can deal, I think, about 5 damage to one character on your opponent side of the field if you have that maximum setup, which is really great. But we're pairing him up with Raider Aimless, who is a 3/8/0 Battle Master who's got tough 3, and whenever he gets KO'd, he gets put into the Manifold Ion Particle Blaster, which is a great name. And then whenever the upgraded character attacks, hopefully Megatron if you can help it, he gets +3 attack, and then if he flips 3 blue pips, you do 3 damage to the defender, which is a very great skill. And since it's a blue deck, it's only fitting that we play Aimless. And our last character we were playing is Flame War, 3/10/1, gives bold when you flip to this alt mode, but we're mostly here for the bot mode. I do like the gold foil for him though, so we're going to use it, of course. So it's a 3/10/1 and gives each of your characters tough 1, and since this is in fact a blue deck, we might as well be playing Flame War to give tough 1 to everyone and keep them alive a little bit longer. But yeah, that's all the characters. Let's get into the battle cards. Naturally, our first action is going to be 3 copies of Security Checkpoint, mainly there for the double blues, and of course, as usual, you can play it for its effect just whenever you want to play it and you don't have any upgrades worth playing in your hand. It's very situational, but mostly there for the double blues. And since we are playing Megatron, we're playing 2 copies of Hunker Down, which says flip each of your characters from bot mode to tank mode, and we only have 1. Then for each of your tanks that isn't upgraded with an armor, put an armor onto it on your scrap pile. This is in case you can't grab sparring gears, and you can just send them straight onto Megatron. And we are playing 1 copy of Superior Plating, because I do believe Hunker Down gets around the Superior Plating effect, so that's pretty nice. But we'll go over that in just a little bit. Hunker Down does also allow Megatron to proc his alt mode skill after you finish the effect of Hunker Down, which again is very great for just an all-around good card for the deck. But we're only playing 2 since we do only have just 1 tank. We're also playing 3 copies of Leap into Battle, and since Megatron has so much attack already built into him, plus all the attack drones you're going to try and get on him, Leap into Battle is of course a natural choice to boost his attack even higher, so you can just one-shot your opponents at every turn with the amount of attack he just has on him. It gets ridiculous sometimes, but especially for a blue deck, it's crazy. And since this is a very upgrade-focused deck, we're playing 2 copies of Treasure Hunt. We're only playing 2 because it is an orange pip, but it does let you look at the top 4 cards of your deck and grab all upgrades from there, scrap the others. So of course we're going to be playing a couple of those because Megatron does rely a lot on the upgrades on your side of the field. We're also playing 3 copies of Fractos since we started with all Decepticons. Your opponent gets to essentially choose one of their characters and deal 2 damage to it, which is a very nice effect combined with Megatron just being able to ping damage wherever he wants to. Very good card. And to keep upgrades away from your opponent, we're playing 3 copies of Vaporize, which is scrap an enemy upgrade. Of course, you're going to be using that to get rid of your opponent's Pierce, things that get through your blue, and just whatever else you can do to block your opponent from killing Megatron a little bit quicker. So, and since we are playing a Battle Master, we are going to be running at least 1 Quartermaster to bring him back if we need to, or you can even play it to move over armed hovercrafts, or just anything that you need to be moved over to trigger another effect. So Quartermaster is just a one-off. We're also playing 2 copies of Brainstorm. Since we do have a halfway decent amount of actions, Brainstorm seems fitting for at least 2 of, if you want to play a couple of those in 1 turn, like 2 Fractos, for example, 4 damage in 1 turn. Very good effect. And then we also play 1 Marksmanship. If you have a ranged character on the battlefield, do 2 damage to an enemy in bot mode. And since both Megatron and Aimless are both ranged, that works out perfectly. But yeah, that's all the actions, and we are playing 2 secret actions, which are both infiltrates. This is to help get around Press the Advantage, since again it is a Decepticon deck, so Press the Advantage hurts pretty bad. Some of the weapons we were playing are 3 copies of Armed Hovercraft. This is just more spread damage to add on to whatever Megatron is going to be doing. You can put on either Aimless or Megatron to do 1 to each of your opponent's characters. It also gives +1 attacks, so you swing a little bit harder, and the blue pip helps in that regard. And we also play 2 copies of Laser Cutlass. This gives +1 attack and Pierce 3 to a character with 7 stars or less. You could play it on either Aimless or Flame War, because typically Flame War and Aimless will not be dealing any damage, so Laser Cutlass makes it to where they're at least dealing, hopefully, 3. And of course, we are playing 3 copies of Handheld Blaster. Gives bold 1, but we're mostly having it for the double blue pip. That's pretty much that. And then we were playing the usual 3 copies of Attack Drone. If you can get all 3 of these on Megatron, it immediately triggers his bot mode skill, plus you're doing 3 damage with Assault mode, which is absolutely fantastic since you can play all 3 of those in one turn if you have them in your hand. It's a very great card since it's got the green pip, and the white pip helps as well. For his armors, we are playing the 1 copy of Superior Plating for the Hunker Downs, gives tough 4. You can only play it if you have if you played Tech Research that turn, but I do believe Hunker Down gets around that, so it's a nice little trick you can do if you need some more defense. And then we were playing 3 copies of Sparring Gear. It is an orange pip, so you can swing a little bit harder with Megatron, and it is green, so you can also put it back in your hand. So very, very good card since it gives tough too. But yeah, that's all the armors, and we are playing a couple of utilities. One of them being 1 copy of Metal Detector, since we are going to be focusing mostly on upgrades. 1 Metal Detector seems good. It is a black pip, so if you need to get some Pearson with Flame or Aimless, you can flip that and then boom, you got it. Plus this green pip, you can bring it to your hand if you needed a utility on someone, or Megatron, so he has more upgrades on him. You can do that as well. And yeah, that's a really nice card. We are also playing 2 copies of Urban Camo. Since we don't have that many utilities in the deck, 2 copies of Urban Camo to give tough 1 as a utility is absolutely fantastic. Just adding on to whatever Flame War's got, plus your Sparring Gears, or even Superior Plating. You can get up to, what is that, tough 5 or 6 if you have Flame War. It's pretty nice being able to just block anything that your opponent pushes at you. Very, very good card, so we're running 2 of those. Yeah, and that's the main deck. Let's go ahead and get into the sideboard. We are playing Arrogant Ruler Megatron as your sideboard character, in case you ever decide that you want to go aggro. He's a leader tank range as well. He's 3/14/3 on alt mode, and when you flip this mode, you can play an upgrade. It also helps General Megatron trigger his upgrade abilities in both his forms. And then in his bot mode, he's a 4/14/2, and when this attacks, you can scrap an upgrade from your hand if you do draw 2 cards. Very good skill for trying to get more, see more cards out of your deck. So we are playing him, and for the battle cards, we're running 2 copies of 2-pronged attack, since at that point you would be having 2 tanks on your side of the field, both General Megatron and then Arrogant Ruler Megatron. You might as well be playing 2-pronged attack so you can go a little bit more offensive and also scrap 2 cards from your opponent's hand. It's a very, very nice card. But it is orange pip, so I only sideboarded 2. And now that they are both leaders, we also have 1 copy of Callous Leadership. So you can move up to 5 damage counters off one to the other, or even you can just sideboard it into your main deck, and then you can just keep General Megatron alive for a little bit longer, and move it all off into Aimless and kill him, and then boom, he's now a weapon. So very nice card. And if you do sideboard in Megatron, that does give you 2 star cards, which are going to be Energized Field. Not only are they a double blue pip, but they also give +1 defense when attached as an armor. And they also deal 1 damage to the attacker if you flip an orange pip on defense, which is a very, very nice effect since we are playing a couple of oranges being Treasure Hunt and Sparring Gears, or even 2-pronged attack if you decide to sideboard that in. And if you decide to put in Megatron Arrogant Ruler, you might as well be playing Fusion Cannon of Megatron over the Laser Cutlass, since now it has the same exact effect as Laser Cutlass, except now you can put it on either one of the Megatrons. So it is a blue pip as well, so it helps to defend them a little bit better. And also, if you're playing against Lionizer, we have 1 copy of Dampening Field for a sideboard. You can hopefully draw that and deflect a Lionizer swing. And then another way to help combat against Press the Advantage is 2 copies of Hiding Spot. It gives one of your characters stealth. Very, very nice card, and also gives Pierce if you need to swing a little bit harder on the Pierce side of things. So yeah, that's pretty much all of that. And yeah, that's the general Megatron deck I've made. I'm having a lot of fun with this deck. It does very, very well against a ton of meta decks right now, like Bugs. It does pretty decent against Bugs. It does pretty decent against Dreadwing and other such things. But if you like this video, don't forget to whack that like and subscribe button. And yeah, you should try this deck out for yourself. If you can get a hold of General Megatron, then yeah, go for it. You can do it. It's a very great card, and it's a lot of fun to play with. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a phenomenal day. Peace.